Yeah, we are discussing about having the user-defined data type as instance variables today. So I think with user-defined data type, you understood the meaning of this now? What is that? Class hello. We are taking yesterday and making what? Test t as a instance variable. Okay, so if you do this, you know how to initialize now, and later on you'll know how to use this. So this itself is called as has a relationship. Okay, see, if you see programmatic point of view, why do you make a class as an instance variable? When we want to do associate one class with other class, there will be so many classes. Finally, if one class wants to use another class, we go with one kind of relating class with another classes using has a relationship. When you are having has a relationship, you will do the association like this. See, if I go on talking in terms of design and all that, you will not understand now. From Java point of view, you will understand very clearly. Okay, Java point of view, what it is? If you have a class as a instance variable, okay, how will you initialize it and all that, we'll see. This will be done. But why will one class have another class as an instance variable means? For that you have to understand the design principles. Okay, design principle. Like what? Is a relation, has a relation. That will come to you shortly. You don't have to worry about that. So leave about that subject now. Which one? Is a relation, has a relation. It's a very vast subject which we'll be seeing in depth later. Okay, first we'll learn programmatically all these things. Then gradually you'll start understanding all those topics now. Like generalization, realization. Then in association we are having what? Composition, aggregation, all that we'll see. Okay, but initially those terminologies are big terminologies which we do not understand. Gradually we'll understand that. Those words have come out with so many years of research. Generalization is not a word which came out yesterday and night or day before yesterday. It has got around 40 years of history. So in object-oriented languages, these words are used very extensively in all object-oriented languages. So we are seeing now how Java is giving you support to those concepts in programming. So association or has a relationship is supported by making it as an instance variable. That much you understand. So if you make it as an instance variable, next what will you do? How do you initialize it? You can initialize it with hard coding, dot operator, methods, or construct. 4 ways you can do it. So are you clear with this? Next, I'll show you today if you are having an instance variable as array type, how will you do the initialization? Okay, now you might have a question. Why should I have array as an instance variable? Next question you might have. See, this example also, I didn't explain you directly from Java point of view. Why you know? I gave one thorough explanation of what employee has an address. Understood? Employee has a phone, like that we talk. So first I explained you all that design things, and then I started explaining you why a class. So that is why you understood very clearly little this topic. If I had directly done this, you wouldn't have understood. Similarly, if I write class hello and have one instance variable here of type what? Array, your question will be why should I have it? Understood? I'll give you a scenario, you understand it, then you'll definitely understand why we'll make it as an instance variable. So the scenario I'll tell you, and then you'll understand why we make it as an instance variable. Once you make it as an instance variable, working with that is very easy when you know it. You don't have to worry about that. Scenario would be this. Say, I told you, as I keep telling you, values will come dynamically to you. Values will be coming what? Dynamically. From UI or from database, the application, you know the what we code now? We developers write logic. What kind of logic you write? See, this will be an UI. The user will be entering name. Okay, then he might be entering date of birth. Then he might be entering phone 1. Then he might be entering phone 2. Like this, he'll be entering values. Many values he'll enter and he'll submit. Or these values will be sometimes stored in what? Database tables also, which I'll be discussing later. Supposing the first time he is becoming a user, he'll give all these details. Second time, it will be picking from database. What is database? I'll be telling you, you don't have to worry if you are from some other branch like ENC. I'll be telling you. So anyway, see, values will enter, means he'll give the value. You might, otherwise he'll enter only name and password. Second time he's entering, he'll enter only name and password, other values will retrieve from database. So once you get all these values, what you do, you start storing them in user-defined data type. What is the advantage of user-defined data type? It's a collection of primitive type only, but it relates to one entity. Entity means what? One identity. So you have to design your class in a good way now. Okay, so let's see how you do it. So I'll write class. I'll take it as, I think we'll do one thing. I'll take names like this: ID, name, phone 1, phone 2. Okay, so class employee, I can have something like this: int employee ID, string name. Then you'll have what? I have to write two phones now. Int phone 1, int phone 2. But if you see here, they are of both same type. Yes or no? Instead of going for two variables of type int, what will I do? I can go for an array. Understood now? I can go for, this is one option. Okay, but if more phones start increasing here, phone 3. Again here what you should do? Add one more. This will become a headache. So that's why what we do, we remove all this and we'll just have one array of phone. This is much better now. It can store any number of phones. So like this we logically design our user defined data. Practically you think no, why array will be used? See, array is one collection of user defined data. Agreed? Array is one collection of user defined data. Like array is one collection of user defined data, we know that. On top of that, what happens is array is a collection of similar data. Array is a collection of similar data type. So this is having similar data type. Again, that is made as an instance variable. So all this will happen to you programmatically when we code. I'll be doing all this. Right now, don't bother about getting dynamic values. First, see how do you declare it, how do you initialize it, how do you use it. Filling values dynamically into it is very simple. Filling values dynamically into it will be very simple. So that is why I show you today. If I make my instance variable of type array, how to initialize it. I'll show you all the way. Later on when you start programming and writing classes like this, you'll understand how to do all that. Are you clear with this now? But for understanding this, you are clear with array now? Basics of array is highly mandatory now. Okay, let's see now. So all these values will be processed where? In the application. This is the application. Values will enter from UI, values will enter in database. For processing here you'll use, you'll be processing all the values here. So this is primary memory. Primary memory is very powerful. It is used for processing all the logic. Okay, this is called as secondary memory. It is used for storing value. So now for writing the logic, you can use any language. I keep repeating this. You can use C, C++ or anything. But we prefer Java because it is user friendly plus brilliant libraries are. For all your logics, libraries are. Always remember this. We have reached there. Our destination is there. We are only learning the language now. So very shortly we'll be reaching the libraries. So fine now. Let's see. I'll have class test. I'll have int I. First I'll show you with hard coding. Class hello I'll take. I'll have I as a instance variable. Fine. Hard coding. But I'll have one more variable x, which is of type array. Let's see how to initialize this now. But to work with an array, what all you have to do? Declare an array, create an array, initialize the array. There are three things you have to do: declaring an array, creating an array, initializing the array. This is only declaring. Next, what you have to do? Create an array and initialize an array. So you can declaring, creating and initializing can be done in a single line like this now. Valid code, hard coding. So directly what will I do now? Hello dot, you can work. But it is instance variable. Remember, class demo, your client code now. PSVM, first say hello, h is equal to null. Is it come into existence? No. We are saying first with hard coding, then I show you dot operator, then I show you methods and finally constructor. So now see, h is equal to new hello, now it comes into existence. Now when it comes into existence, I is declared and initialized. Class loading, object creation is clear for you now. Class loading, the class gets loaded as well as object gets created. So I will be initialized to 5, x will be creating an array now like this. Size is what? 4, 0, 1, 2, 3. Size is 4. Okay. values are 100, 101, 102, 103. The address might be 150. The address is stored in X. So I can access now SOP h dot x. What it will print? Address. SOP I what will print? You know h dot I 5 it will print. This is 150 address or something 250 I will take. Correct now? So fine. Now, but if I want to access the value in the array SOP h dot x of, as simple as this. H dot x, I am accessing the value now. SOP h dot x of 1. If you are interested, you can access the value stored in the array in another class. Or if you are interested, you can access the value stored in the same class also. Like this, see this void m1. In m1 I can access both the values. SOP I can access now. If I want, I can access what? SOP x of 0 also I can access. Both I can access. See here I will say h dot x of 0. There I will say only x of 0. You can access the value stored in the array inside the class or outside the class. That's up to you. Clear? How it is working? Syntax you should know now. H dot x of 0, h dot x of 1. Or you can do with loop also. For int I, looping also you can do. All that you try now. I'm just showing you how to initialize it. So this is one way. Okay, here what is happening? Here you are doing what? Declaring, creating and initializing an array. In this line. Okay, now let's see. One more I'll show you. Very interesting. I'll not, I'll only declare and create it like this. One more way I'm showing you. New int of 5, correct that? Now initializing, where will you do? Hard coding, still I'm continuing with hard coding. One is you could have done all the three things in one line: declare, create and initialize. Okay, so till now you have worked with arrays in main method. Means you have worked with arrays as local variable. Till now what I have thought is we have worked with array where we declared here, we used here, it was a local variable. Till now you have never used the array as instance variable. You know how to use an array, but now we are talking about how to use it as an instance variable. So that's what I am telling now. One previous approach, you can declare, create and initialize it in one shot. Or second approach is like this you do. Now you have to initialize the array now. Initializing array means what? Means when this has happened, when you create the object, what will happen you know? The default values in the array will be 0. Array has got declared, array has got created, but the default values will be 0. But I want to initialize it. So that time what will I do? I can go with the instance block. Or I can initialize the array in the construct. That is your wish. Where you want to initialize? Your wish. But don't initialize in static block because it is instance variable. So this is why we use what? Instance block and all that. X of 0, x of 1 is equal to 101, x of 2 is equal to 102, x of 3 is equal to 103, x of 4. My array is of type 5 size. Array size is what? 5. So I am filling 5 values. I can do it now, but how does it work this time? Let's see. Hello h is equal to new hello. What happens? First x is declared and initialized. What will be the value of x? Null. After the instance block gets sorry, I'm not saying null. As soon as I create the object, array will be created and all the values will be 0. Now when the instance block gets executed, that time the values will be overwritten like this. It will happen immediate. Very fast it will happen. Understood? You can put on SOP there. Where in the instance block you can put. Are you clear? First array is declared and created. In the instance block the array gets initialized. This way also you can use. So that is why we use instance blocks many times. You will be using instance block for programming. So instance block is used for what? Initializing. Same thing. Okay, or I can do it with the help of constructor also. Yes, you might have a question now. Should I use constructor or should I use instance block? Doubts will get clearer later. Don't worry, both are acceptable. Clear this? So still this is hard coding only. Still I am not saying we are going with what? Dot operator. So here what has happened is they are declared and created. Yes or no? This is declaring and creating. Initializing is happening where? Here. Three things should happen when you are working with an array. Declaring, creating, initializing. In the first approach, both are hard coding only, but understand, in the previous approach, we declared, created and initialized. But now what we are having, declaring, creating, but initializing is done here now. Clear the hard coding now? Let's proceed with dot operator. Dot operator will be assigned what? Means where will the array will be created? Outside. The reference of that will be given to the variable. That's all. Assigning a value with dot operator means what? You will create an array outside the class and assign that reference value to this variable. That is very simple, which we will see now. Clear? Are you clear with this? This is declaring. See, I am telling you very clearly. This is actually, this statement is declaring. This is what? Creating. Technically, if you see, this is what? Initializing. Clear? Okay, fine then. Again, using it, you can use it inside the class or outside the class. Inside the class, directly x of 0 you use. Outside the class, you will say h dot x of 0. Using it, you know. Okay, see this, int x. Now, we will initialize this from outside. So, I is a primitive variable. X is a array variable. Difference you are getting now? That's why I am writing 2, 2. You understand? Understood? I and x, why I am writing? I is of type primitive, so I have to give primitive value to it. X is a array variable, means you have to give a reference of an array. So let's see how do you work. Class demo psvm hello h is equal to null. You are declaring a variable. H is equal to new hello. What happens? Object of hello gets created. The default construct is executed, you don't worry. Okay, so class is loaded. There are no static members. You know the static process will happen. After that, instance variables are declared and initialized. What is the value of instance variable I? 0. What is the value of x? Null. That is the difference. Array is what? Reference variable. X is a variable which can hold the address of an array. So for all user defined data type and for array variable, the default value will be null. Understood? For all reference variables. This is also one kind of reference variable only. Done? So see, the instance variables are declared and initialized. The default constructor gets executed. Okay, the default constructor gets executed. The memory gets allocated 150, that is given to h. Now you try printing it, sop h dot I, what it will print? 0. And you print sop h dot x, what it will print? Null. And you try to access h dot x of 0, what will happen? Null pointer exception. Yeah, good. You should know when you get null pointer exception now. Clear? Null pointer exception will get. But now how will I assign the value to it? You know how to assign. We are going with what now? Second approach. Hard coding is over. Dot operator. So you can check this out, but don't do this. You'll get null pointer exception. Okay. So I'll assign now. So how will I do? H dot I is equal to 5. This is how you assign now. For x, how will you assign now? One option is h dot x is equal to, you only declared it, create it. You can do like this. Okay, we'll do it in 2 lines. Int p, declare create on array man. You know how to declare create on array now? And the address of this I can give it to what? H dot x is equal to p over. First one, create an array here. First p will be created. We are having 3 values. Okay, 100, 101, 102, 103. One more I'll add, 103. Okay, this array is there now. That address, it is, if it is 250 or something, you will give it to what? X. X will refer to this. Over. There are many syntaxes you can use now. H dot x is equal to new int. All that many you can try. Are you clear this? Okay. So then this is with which one? Hard coding. Dot operator. Now we'll go with what? Methods. Methods is very much similar. Void m1 int I int x. This dot I is equal to I this dot x is equal to x, valid. So this is a parameter of type int, this is a parameter of type array. Which array? Int array. This is a parameter of type int array. So now I'm going with methods, third approach. So create the object. After creating the object, same story will be there. I will be 0, x will be null. So then what you do? Create on p array. After that, how will you initialize now? H dot m1, send on value. Something like, if you are having a value here, int a is equal to 5, h dot m1 a comma p. That's it. Same. You can do it with the help of method, or you can do it with the help of, when you know method, constructor is simple. Over. But this arguments will be passing where? While creating the object itself. Means when you are writing hello, h is equal to new hello, you will pass what? A comma p. That's it. You can try making it as static. That time you better hard code there itself. Hard coding I showed you earlier, no? Like that only you do. If you make it as static. Understood? If you make it as static, take the approach of hard coding. Clear? Clear? Any questions regarding now? Do you want me to type and show this, or you can do it on your own? You can do now? So I'll move to the next topic now. You're okay, comfortable with this? For this you prepare which one? Arrays properly, then come to this subject. But the topic what I'm trying to explain is now, array also can be used as an instance variable. Till now we had studied all as local variables. Now we studied everything as instance variable. Clear? Any questions? Fine. Shall I clear this? Shall I move to the next topic? I'll be moving to the next topic, big topic, which one? Inheritance. Next big topic, inheritance, which you know very comfortable here. Inheritance. What is there in inheritance? Nothing now? We'll see it. Correct now? Inheritance is very easy now. Yes or no? I'll go there. Any questions you're having, ask. Else I'll move to that topic. Do you want me to type, or you can do it? Huh? You can do it now? You want me to type? Huh? One example I'll show you. Okay. One only we are typing everything. See, you should have the knack of coding. Knack of coding is nothing but working with basics. You are good in basics, you are unstoppable here. Nobody can stop you. You can beat anybody. Correct? Huh? But first of all, you are engineers. Huh? I should keep reminding you that. Because you are engineers, So talented you are. Correct? Huh? Any question about your talent? Huh? No question about your talent. Because you are all engineers. Yeah, obviously you can code, man. What is all this for you? They are all simple. Yes, now we have reached a stage where we are little. See, doubts will keep coming. I'm not saying no. You don't worry about any doubts. By the time I complete Java and say I have completed Java, all your doubts would have been cleared. There's so many doubts which will come out. Reason is there are too many topics we have to cover. But in one class I cannot cover everything. Gradually, as I continue coding, I'll be explaining one by one topics to you. Understood? So you don't have to worry too much about doubts. Keep coding. You just code. That's it. Solutions will automatically start getting new. Array instance demo node. So class GLLO. So I'll keep on int I. First I'll show hard coding, then int x is equal to, yes, you know how to work with array now? 100, 101, 102, 103, 104. Yeah, that is up to you. Yeah, in association only I'll keep. You're done, say this. We'll print both the values I and x also, both will print. This one would be h dot I and this one would be h dot x. So what will this print now? Address, no? Yes or no? We are accessing h dot x. But the same if I print value of first index. Value in first index. Value in first index in main is h dot x of first index. How will you get? 0, no? You have to get it with 0. Index starts from 0 always. Or you can get any 100. I can get even what? 2. It will be 102. That's up to you. So you can get the values of the array outside the class. Means how will you access it? H dot x of 2. Understand the syntax. Don't bother about output. See how you work. See value, I'll just remove this. Check how you are getting the value now. H dot x of 2. But in the same class, how will you get these values? Value, I can access the array in the same class also. That's not a problem. But this time I will not go with what? H dot. Directly I will say x and x in m1 method. That's it. Getting it now? And if I want, I can call h dot m1 also. Perfect. Compiler should come when you compile now. Compiler should be scared of you now. It's high time that you start looking for errors. Understood? Accidentally it happens, let it happen. But grammatically and all, you should never create which are mistakes now. That perfection you should have now. Clear? Compile means compiler should what? Blindly compile. Even if you give wrong code, it should compile. That powerful you should be now. Understood? If you give wrong code also, compiler should be what? Afraid of you. Your coding. Correct that? Be afraid and compile. Then output you'll get. Once it compiles, what will happen? Output you'll get now. So this is one way of doing it. Yes? But the other way is, say, this is also hard coding only. I'll only declare it. I'll comment this. So here what is happening? See, I'll just write it on the top here. Here what's happening? Declaring. Then here what's happening? Creating. Once creating and initializing, both all will happen. Everything will happen. Now I show you one more. See here, only an array is declared. Yes or no? You're not created. You're not creating. Two things are still pending: creating and initializing. And if you do that, okay, I'll not. Okay, I'll print only which one? X here. What it will print? Null. Just check. It will print null. And if you try to access it here also, h dot x, it will print null. But don't access h of 2 and all that. Okay, it will give you null pointer exception. See how it compiles? It's afraid. Okay, so you should know what code to, but this one, null pointer exception. Correct, huh? So fine. So now what happens? Now declaring, you have to do one more thing. What you have to do now? Creating. So here what is happening now? In this line what is happening? Declaring and creating will happen. Yeah, now you will not get null pointer exception. It will print some address, and x of 2 and all, what it will print? 0. The default value, it's an array of type what? Int, no? We'll use the default value. You can print now. 0, 0. In M1 also it prints 0, main also it prints 0. So what will I do now? To initialize this, where will you initialize? We can depend on, see this is still hard coding only. I can go with instance block or constructor, your wish. Both will work. X of 0 is equal to 100. So you code all this, you got advanced things waiting brilliantly for you. Just be comfortable with all this. What I taught you is more than sufficient. 102, 102 address. So when did it get initialized? When I created the instance here, instance variables are declared and initialized, instance block gets executed. When the instance variable is created, what happening? It is declared and created, but here it will get, here what's happening? Initializing will happen. Done? Any questions? So this is hard coding. Can you do it with dot operator? I show you dot operator method constructor. Will try here. What? Tell. Yes, dot operator will try. Okay. So the third approach would be what? Dot operator now. So comment, keep commenting everything. So I'll declare only the variable. So when you create it, it will be what now? Comment it. This one also you have to comment. Correct, no? You are only declaring it. So what will you do now? H is equal to new hello. H dot f x will be what? Null again. Correct, huh? Now will you initialize? Int p is equal to create an array here. See, there are many ways to create. You create it. I'm just showing you a simple one. Done. After creating it, assign that address to what? H dot x is equal to p. That's it, over. Understood? Then you can print value of this in first index. You can call M1 also. Just try it out. If you get this output, it's all about passing the p address, p as what? A reference. Do it. It's all about sending p as a reference. You got it now? You know how to send p, as an argument. That also I should show. You are all engineers, man. You want to work in company now? You want how much salary? 1 rupee less than him, not will agree. Means if he gets 3 lakhs, you are getting 2,95,000, you will not agree. Why? He is 5,000 more than me, no? You compare salaries like that. Work you will not compare. I will code better than him, he will code better than him, that you will not compare. Yes, sir? So practice all this. It's very simple. Okay, so you should be perfect with the basics of what? Java, then all this will become easy to you. So any questions here? We'll move ahead. See, what exactly happens is second. One second. Okay. We'll go with is a relation. Now see, we completed has a relation. Now we'll go with, we completed with has a relation. But I'm not saying it's completely over. It's just an introduction. Now we'll go with is a relation. If you want to understand is a relation, we learn what now? Inheritance. So we are moving to the next big topic now, inheritance. inheritance. We are moving to the next big topic, inheritance. And when we talk about inheritance, one more new data type will be introduced now, okay, called as subclass. So many things we learn parallelly now. Parallelly these things will be happening. One side will be learning inheritance, other side I start off teaching you a new data type. Class data type is over. Understood? So you get this point clearly now. What does the class have now? What are the members of the class? They're putting this is final now. See, it will have variables. Generally I'll tell. The variables can be what? Instance and static. Again, instance variables can be what? Primitive, user defined. Means user defined means you think that array also is included here, or I can write one more derived type. So static also can be what? Primitive, user defined. This is how we write classes. Then you'll have blocks. Sorry. So when you write a class, you should think about all this now. Instance block, static block. Similarly, you can write constructors and you can overload. You can overload constructors now. And then you can have methods. Methods also, what all you can have? Instance, static. Okay, then again you can overload these also. You can overload an instance method also, you can overload what? Static method also, try it. These are the members. Again one more thing will come, inner classes, which are not covered, I'll be covering later. Again they can also be instance class, static class. Instance inner classes, static inner class. We'll be seeing this later. We are still now, we don't know how to design a class only properly, correct now? So we'll learn fully class, then we'll do it. It will be simple. So we have covered all this. I was just focusing on how to write a class. Okay, more than that I didn't teach you anything. How to write a class, how to create an object, how to use it. Be perfect with this. Don't bother about writing logic. I'm telling you very clearly. 1,000 times I tell this. Do not bother about writing logic. Do not bother about writing logic. Because some people know very well, you're very busy always. Okay, so they tell you don't write logic. You know, you're very intelligent, you're very busy. Okay, so they say you don't write any logic. We'll give you all the logic. That's what they say. Some company people are working for you today. For what? Writing logics. So you don't have to worry about all this. Yeah? So actually you are getting paid, but they are doing work for you. Who? Sun. Infosys will pay you for what? Doing some work. But Sun is doing more work for you. What? Writing libraries. Full code they'll write and give. Let me see. So engineer's duty is only to do what today? Use library. So imagine that is your work in the using the library. You'll build on application. Using all the libraries will build on application. More than that you'll not do anything. Okay. So I think we are completed with class. So now I'll be going to what? Another data type, subclass. We'll be going to another data type called as subclass. In Java there are 4 user defined data types: class, subclass, abstract class, interface. There are 4 user defined data types. Okay, 2 more are there which was introduced in 1.5 called as annotation and enumeration. First we'll cover this 4, then we'll learn about the 2. But these are the 4 data types Java is providing you for implementing what? OOPS. That is why we stress more on this. If you want to implement OOPS now, means if you want to do encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction and all that, Java is giving you 4 data types. Which are there? Class, subclass, abstract class and interface. Now definitely your question will be next. Why Java is giving 4 data types to implement OOPS? Understood? So your questions will come out. So these are big questions which you are not thinking they are as simple, because this answer I will give, one line I will give, but you will not understand. Okay. The reason is we have to see examples. More examples we see, you will understand. Okay, what is the advantage of class, what is the advantage of subclass and all that. But in simple terms I will tell you. Okay. What exactly happens is, if you want to, classes are used, generally I will tell you, this point you will not get it. Okay. When to use a class? Classes are used when you want to do concrete implementation. These are new words which I tell you, which you will not find in any books. Okay, you will not find this in any books. We talk from experience now. Okay, whatever I taught you in the previous examples. Yesterday I showed you some examples now. Practice that really hard. If you understand that, then you'll understand one technology called as Spring. If you want to understand Spring, yesterday's class and today's what I showed you is very, very important. Otherwise, you will not understand Spring later. Okay, say I am teaching you Java from 3D. 3D means what? One from language point of view. We are learning it from language point of view. Then we'll be learning later on Java from the technology point of view. Means how Java is used for building technology. You know what is technology? Struts, JDBC, Hibernate. This language has been used for building technology. Means they are libraries. Using Java, they build libraries. Now using that, how you build application. This is where we have to reach. Using language plus library, how you build a application. So these two are ready-made for you. In company you do this. If you keep thinking everything is ready-made in Java, everything is ready-made in Java, what will I do? Language is ready-made, library is ready-made. Only you have to build the applications. Okay, that's how they have made it. So be careful. I'll cover this first, then I'll cover this, then we are going to reach to the next level. 3D it is. In cluster we teach Java from 3D. So that's why when I'm saying I taught you the language yesterday, I was targeting the technology. Which technology, particularly yesterday? Spring. You know Spring now? What is Spring? Today everybody will tell, what they'll tell? Oh, if you know Spring, you'll get job. Spring is very important, very important. And to understand that, first understand this. Understood? So simply, directly, if you try to learn Spring, you'll not understand. For understanding Spring, these basics are very essential. Fine. So we'll be seeing all this. Still long way to go. Yeah. So see, to reuse, again get the point now. To reuse and avoid complexity, one design was implemented, one design was invented in programming, called as what? Object-oriented programming. One design was implemented. To reuse and the main intention of OOPS is what? Reuse, avoid complexity. So OOPS gives you 4 features, nothing else. Always remember this. It gives you 4 features. Encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction. Now if you question me what is the advantage of encapsulation, I'll tell you only one word. It is helping you to reuse, avoid complexity. Inheritance, reuse, polymorphism, reuse, avoid complexity, all this. So if you want to reuse and avoid complexity, you can use any of the 4. But one will fit one situation. Sometimes encapsulation you have to do, sometimes you have to do, or use the combination of all the 4. For reusing and avoiding complexity, you use the combination of all the 4. Like that you do. But to write all this code, what we do? Java gives you 4 data types. That you should never forget. Java gives you 4 data types for implementing OOPS. See, that is what, this is the support given to by Java now. Java is supporting you to implement all this. It's giving you 4 data types: class, subclass, abstract class. See, this is theoretical. Abstract class is one data type. Last one is interface. One more data type. Interface. We have completed class. So using a class, I showed you how to implement OOPS. Means using class, I showed you how to do encapsulation, how to do overloading. That's polymorphism. How to do polymorphism, how to do encapsulation, how to do abstraction. Inheritance is pending. We'll see it. So similarly, we are going to see now subclass. So we are learning one data type. So we are learning 2 things parallelly now. One side we are learning, in OOPS we are learning inheritance. Other side we are learning what? Subclass data type. So one side we have to understand what is inheritance. Other side we have to understand what is subclass, why it is used, or how to implement OOPS using subclass data type. All these big questions will come up now. How to implement OOPS using subclass data type. When to go for class, when to go for subclass. Plenty of questions will come. So inheritance is a very big subject now. Why I am telling you, insisting you so much is, most of you think you know in Java, means in object oriented programming, you think that you know what? Inheritance. And inheritance is very easy. And you think what you know? Encapsulation, polymorphism and abstraction are very difficult. Okay, you think like that. Okay, these 3 are very difficult, but inheritance is very easy. but fact it is wrong. Those three are very easy, inheritance is very tough. I am priorly warning you. Why? Because before I start off inheritance, if I tell you very much clearly like this, you will put more effort. Okay, see, I completed encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism and all that, encapsulation, polymorphism, abstraction and all that within 10 to 15 days. But inheritance, one subject will take what? 15 days. That huge it is. We saw encapsulation. What is encapsulation? Hiding the details in a class and all that. That's we learned how to implement OOPS using a class data type. Encapsulation means what? Hiding all the internal things in a class. That is encapsulation. Then polymorphism, overloading and all that. You can do it with the help of class. Abstraction means what? You don't know how the things get executed, but you get the output. But abstraction is achieved with the help of encapsulation. So all this theoretically you know, but we learned how to do it with the help of class data type. Understood? Theoretically you know, but we learned it how to do with class data type. But now we'll be learning the same four things with subclass data type. Understood? So two things will go parallelly. One data type and one more is inheritance. So when I'm teaching subclass, don't think subclass is used for what? That's what I'm trying to say finally. Subclass is not used for only doing inheritance. Subclass is used for implementing all the OOPS concept. Generally people think subclass is used for only doing inheritance, which is wrong. You can implement all the OOPS concepts with subclass data type. Clear? So we'll be seeing this. So then more things. When to see now, why is Java giving so many data types to implement OOPS? If you have next question. In one-on scenario, one-on data type will fit the bill. Okay, in one-on scenario, one-on data type will be suitable or fit the bill we said. Means, say, when will you go for a class? Means classes are used when you want to go for concrete implementation. This word you'll not understand now. After I introduce more data types, you'll understand. Class is used for doing what? Concrete implementation. Concrete implementation. Means whenever there is concrete implementation, you use a class. I'll explain you that later. Don't worry. Okay. But once a class is designed, you should not modify it. Sometimes modification will be required. I'll show you what modification. Okay, like you want to add extra variable, extra method. So OOPS strictly declines. Declines means what? Tells. Okay. To you, once a class is ready, do not modify that class at any cost. Why and all I'll be telling you. Once a class is designed, never modify that class. Okay. So if at all you want to modify, we start writing subclasses. So actually the main reason why you'll be writing a subclass is for what? Modifying an existing class. The main reason why you'll be doing inheritance is for modifying an existing class. Okay, we'll be seeing all this practically. This I'm telling you theoretically. We are all seeing this theoretically. We need plenty of examples. That's what I told. Whatever I am giving introduction now, I require minimum 10 days to show you with examples. Very good examples I'll give. Most brilliant examples I'll give. They are related to SCJP exam also. They are related to for you for learning also. Good examples. Subclass is used for changing implementation. Changing or adding implementation. Which I'll be explaining you in depth. Adding or changing implementation to existing class. Remember that. That's the difference between the two. Generally, if anybody asks you what's the difference between a class and a subclass, you know, you'll tell stories. Do not tell any story. It's very simple. Classes are used when we want to do concrete implementation. Subclasses are used when I want to change or add implementation to existing class. Brilliant way of telling it. And both the data types are used for what? Implementing OOPS. But scenario is different. Now you will understand little scenario. See, one class is there. It will have some implementation. Okay. I want to modify there. That time I will not go for modifying that class. Instead I will go for inheriting. And then I will do the modification in subclass. Means I will add extra members. Understood? So there is a difference, but we will be seeing it more with practical examples only. Practical, nothing theoretical. Okay. But you want theoretical more, I will tell you. Like dog, animal, all that story I will tell you now. But that I will finish in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But later on fully I will get into programmatic only things. All things will be learned programmatically only. Okay. So this will be the major difference. Then, and inheritance is always done when you go for subclasses are always done when you are having one more word we have to learn parallelly is a relation. Generally you will relate two classes. Okay, you will relate two classes when there is a relation. When do you do inheritance? When there is a relation. So all this we have to learn. Looks confusing now, don't worry, we'll be saying it with example. Just I'm giving you introduction to inheritance. Okay, inheritance is such a vast subject now. Inheritance is such a vast subject. Before only I have to tell you now it is vaster, else what will happen? You start neglecting. Now you will become serious. Oh, so many things there to learn. Huh? So that's why I'm telling you all the story. So then fine. Inheritance is done when there is a relation. Fine. I think this much intro is sufficient. Some notes also I'll give you. You can write it down. These are just points, you have to write it, because tomorrow when anybody asks you about inheritance, it will be easy for you to, this one, what is that, tell out in an interview, because many people don't know how to define what is that, inheritance. Okay, so there are too many words which will come out. Start by hearting from today only, so that at least end of 1 month you will tell, no, what is inheritance, correct? Huh? Don't by heart anything, man, I am assuring you, everything will come to you. Don't by heart, it will come from heart. Now what is from heart? Huh? Yeah, these are some of the points. Just you will not understand anything. Just before we start off something, we give some statements now. Just I am giving it to you. So what is inheritance? It's the concept of inheriting the properties of one class into another class. Okay, one class means what? Superclass. Into another class means what? Subclass. When there is a relationship between classes. Okay. Then a class should be closed for modification. This is the most important word, statement. Okay, it will take nearly 1 month or 2 months for you to understand this. One statement, which one? A class should be closed for modification but open for extension. This is a very important design. Okay, when we design classes now, okay, see I have started explaining you now OOPS from design point of view, which rarely anybody does. They always talk from examples point of view. I am not talking from examples point of view. We are learning all the things from design point of view and OOPS point of view. Okay, this is the most important point. Remember this, and I will be stressing more on this itself. A class should be always closed for modification but open for extension. Next point, we can add additional features to an existing class without modifying it. The advantage of that is we can add, what is the advantage of this point? We can add additional features to an existing class without modifying it. Now it's a process of, one more, so many definitions are there. Next definition, it's a process of reusing existing class functionality into a new class. Inheritance means it's a process of, what is inheritance? It's the process of reusing existing class functionality into new class. More definitions. The existing class is called superclass and the new class is called subclass. Now all the members of superclass will be inherited into subclass. All the members of superclass are inherited into what? Subclass, except 2 members. One would be constructor. Constructors are not inherited. We'll see. Technically we'll be saying it. Another will be private members. They cannot be inherited into the subclass. They are present but they are not inherited. We'll see that. Superclasses are called generalized classes. This is one more important statement in design now. There is one topic called as generalization and specialization. Okay, in the design we call it as generalization and specialization. Superclasses are called as generalized classes. Subclasses are called as specialized classes. All these examples I'll talk. Nothing theory. I know you have learned too much of theory. Yes or no? All colleges you have learned what? Theory. You open any jigar. There also theory. They even lecturing, there also theory. Any book you open, theory. Now no theory, everything practical. Just I am refreshing the topics to you and relating that theory to practical things. Clear? So remember this, superclasses are generalized classes. Okay, or if you want to implement generalization, we use superclass. If you want to implement specialization, we use subclass. Understood? These are all things what you have to start following now. So we are going to see inheritance in a big way now. Very big way. So what you have learned in college and all, I'll finish it in half a minute now or half an hour maximum. Half an hour what you have learned inheritance will be over. Next, whatever I'm going to teach you inheritance, you would have never known only. You'll never know. And neither will you learn if you are not there in cluster. Okay, we are going to see brilliant examples on inheritance. Clear? So these points you can just write it, keep it. When I say inheritance is over, that time you ask the meaning of the statement. Now you don't question me any point. The reason is I have not explained you with examples. So definitely it will be by hearting now. It will not come from heart. It will come by heart. There's a difference between by heart and from heart now. By heart means what? Rewind and play. From heart means what? Technically answering. So I want you to say from heart everything now. Okay, these points you can keep it. Take 1 second. Okay, I think that's sufficient. Now let me give you some theory information. Theory about what? We'll see how much man is lazy. Okay, first we'll check out how much man is lazy and how much he expects all ready-made things. Okay, and then we'll understand inheritance in a better way. Inheritance is picked from real life concept only. Inheritance is the concept which is got from real life world. Okay, see, let's forget programming thing now. I'll not talk about anything in programming. Okay, forget Java, forget everything. Just think that you are in first standard or second standard or some standard. Okay, and I'll give you an assignment. Write a composition on Alsatian dog. Write a composition on what? Alsatian dog. So you start referring to the best books and you start referring what? I'll refer and start write composition. You know what is composition writing? English you know no? Oh, I'm talking about English now, not Java. So we start telling now. First what we tell? Dog is a animal. We start like that. Very general things we talk. See, we are talking about very generalized things. Dog is a animal. So initially when we talk about anything, we talk it in a very general way, generalized things. Okay. So dog is an animal. Why we call it as an animal? Because it eats, it lives, it walks. So anything which does all these things or more things are called as what? Animal. Next we'll say in the next paragraph, first paragraph I'll tell like this. You know paragraph writing now, composition, paragraph writing. So this is how you have to write. I don't know how much of you write like this, but this is actual way of writing. Okay, so then we'll say it is a mammal. Means what are the characteristics of mammal now? It is a vertebrate and all that features you can tell about a mammal. Okay, then you can tell it is a dog. See, Alsatian is an animal, Alsatian is a mammal, Alsatian is a dog. So down the line as we are going, here it is generalized, here little more specialized, little specialized, here more specialization. So down the line as you go, it will become more specialized. Okay, so dog is, why it is a dog? It barks, correct? Huh? Bites, all the characteristics of dog you can tell. Then you will tell it's an Alsatian. And you will tell it is having what? Something like brown hair, well built, all the characteristics of Alsatian you can tell. Once you will tell, write this story now. Well built, whatever the characteristics you can tell. Next I'll ask you to describe something called as a Pomeranian dog. What will happen? Some things will be repeated. What will be repeated? It is an animal, it is a mammal, it's a dog. So what happens? Man, when he sees something is existing now, his tendency is to reuse it directly. His tendency is what? Reuse it. Means just copy it as it is. That's your tendency. You will not try to explore again all the stories. Okay, whatever is there we try to reuse. If something is there, no, reuse it. So there you will write. But in Java we do something called as inheritance. What we do in Java and all, we will reuse like this only. If one class needs the same thing from another class, what we do now? We start inheriting. Okay, so that again I'll come later. So let's see now. Okay, here what's happening? This is the hierarchy. I'm just talking about hierarchy. Animal is on the top, mammal is next, dog is next, then Alsatian is in the last. In the hierarchy, up the layer, okay, animal does not know anything about mammal. mammal does not know anything, knows everything about animal. Okay, animal knows nothing about mammal. What does animal know anything about mammal? Nothing. But mammal knows everything about animal. Up the hierarchy, everything they know. Dog knows both. Mammal also it knows, animal also it knows. But mammal knows nothing about dog, but it knows everything about animal. Like this it goes on. Now Alsatian knows everything about all the three. But dog knows nothing about Alsatian, but it knows about these two. Like this. So this is what happens. And now as I told you, I want to describe something called as a Pomerian. Now we'll start telling. In Java and all, no, we'll not write the code same thing again. We'll tell, let Pomerian inherit everything from dog. And directly we'll get all the features now. Pomerian will get the features of what? Dog plus mammal plus animal. But in Java terminology, we call them as class. We call class animal in Java terminology. Okay, means we do it programmatically. We'll see how we do it. Okay, then we say class mammal. So these are all classes, but we call mammal is a subclass of animal. We call so this is animal is called as what now? Superclass. This is called as what? Subclass. Mammal is called as subclass. Now a subclass can be a superclass. That also you understand. See the terminologies. I'm introducing all the inheritance terminology. Generalization, specialization, superclass, subclass. So these are all words which are related to inheritance which you have to understand. At the same time you have to understand the words. At the same time you should know how to design the data type also. So all things will go parallelly. So superclass. A subclass can be a superclass for another subclass. No. Understanding the meaning. Animal is a superclass of what? Mammal. Mammal is a subclass of animal. Subclass. But again a subclass can be a superclass for what? Another subclass. Like this hierarchy will start off. Okay, now Pomerian is extending dog. And here I'll write white hair, short dog, all the features. Similarly, if I want to describe a Doberman, we'll do the same thing now. What will we do? Let Doberman inherit everything from dog. Then I'll tell, okay, strong, no tail, all that. So what is the advantage of inheritance now? When you inherit, you'll get all those features into what? Your class. That's a brilliant feature. Okay, but it doesn't mean that you get all the features now. You have to go on inheriting. Sometimes when you do inheritance improperly, wrong results will come out. There are some, see, what do you think now generally? If I inherit, I'll get so many things from superclass into subclass. Don't think always doing inheritance will give you proper results. It will end up in wrong results also. For that I'll give you some theory examples, then we'll be seeing practical examples. Like example. Now I want to explain, I want to describe something called as a snake. Now can snake extend Doberman? Can snake extend dog? Can snake extend mammal? Now in this hierarchy you should know where to break it. Now you'll tell what? Let snake extend animal. Like this. Then let cobra like this. Cobra. You can tell let cobra extend snake. Then you can have python. Like this you can go on. Hierarchy will start off like this. Understood? So wherever you want you can break it. Now man. Will man extend dog? No. The thing is what I am trying to tell you is just because when you inherit you'll get all the features, don't try to inherit everything. Otherwise man will start doing what? Barking, biting. You get all the features. Understood? So you should know where to break it. Man will extend what now? Mammal. You can add all the extra characteristics here. Whatever. So down the line it is specialization. Up the layer it is generalization. So all general things related to everything we'll keep it here. Why? So that same functionality can be used in the bottom layer. Whatever is required commonly now, we keep it on the top. And then we go on specializing in the bottom. But you should be an expert to do this now. What is general among all? That is experience now. It will not come with what? Class A, class B. We need more examples, more programming, then you'll start getting the idea, okay, these are general things, these are specialized things. So this is with experience what we start getting now. Okay, so see, this is the concept now. This concept we have to implement in programming now. Are you following it now? This is what is inheritance concept. Now all object-oriented programming languages will support this. C++ will support this, COBOL will support this, Java also will support this. All the object-oriented programming languages will support this. But how easy support they give you, and in what easy way we can understand, that's the question now. So this is the concept we have to learn, and we have to learn how it is supported in Java. We'll see it. It is done in a very simple way in Java. Are you clear with this? It is going to be done in a very simple way in Java. In C++ and all, this subject is very complicated. Inheritance is one of the worst implementation in C++. We'll go mad there. Many people quit C because of pointer. Many people quit C++ because of inheritance. But Java, no need to quit. Everything is easy. Understood? So, we'll be seeing it very clearly. Logical reasons why Java is so clear about everything technically. You've got technical answers in Java. If you ask me anything why it is so, I'll give you a technical reason. But in other languages, there are no technical reason. Reason is what? Java is refinement. Whatever problems were there in other languages, it eliminated that and brought only best things from the other language into this particular language. So this is one simple introduction I gave you. Okay, but always remember this. Now in the up the hierarchy, animal knows nothing about mammal, but mammal knows everything about animal. In hierarchy, theory wise, we tell like this. But in Java terminology, we tell something like this. In Java terminology, superclass doesn't know anything about subclass. Remember this. It's the most important point now. Superclass doesn't know anything about subclass, but subclass knows everything about superclass. Understood? This point is very important now. Superclass knows nothing about subclass. But the reverse is not true. Subclass knows everything it will know about superclass. And again, you don't have to by heart this. I'll give one more good example to remember that concept. Which one? These two things what I told you now. Let's take the relation between a father and son. Father is there, son is there. Who knows better about each other? You only know now. Son knows better about father or father knows better about son? Son knows father very well. Father is very general. Son is specialized. You know what kind of specialization you have now? So father will be thinking what? Father will know nothing about son. Head and tail he will not know. Father will think, my son is going to college, he is studying hard. Poor son, 9 o'clock he is in college. But he will be planning 10:30 first show. Father will know nothing about son. But son will know everything about father. Where is father at what time he will come, what time he will go, before that time, before 5 o'clock what you should do, after 9 o'clock what you should do. So son has got complete information about father. Okay, fully inherit. Plus what? Extra qualities. Yes, no? Son will always have what? Extra specialized qualities will have. So remember this formula. I am not trying to I'm giving it in a funny way to you so that you remember this throughout your life. Okay, you do not forget the relationship between father and son. Son is specialized. Extra qualities will have. You know, all the best qualities will have. Yes, sir? Yes. So you'll have all the best qualities. Father is, see, whatever qualities are there in father, it will come to you. Plus, remember, plus, whatever qualities your father is having, you'll have. Plus, I'm telling you, extra qualities. Do not forget this. Means, everything you'll inherit, plus, extra things you'll have. So all this we have to see it in programmatically now. So this one simple theoretical information I gave you about what? Inheritance. Enough of theory now. You have studied too much of theory. Okay, we'll straight away get into practical now. We'll see on output. Good example we'll write and we'll see the output now. Shall I clear everything? Theory you know, how much to know theory now? I give you theory, you are expert in that. What will you do? 5 minutes you'll by heart it. And next what will you do? Vomit it. You'll never digest now. So you have to digest the subject. Always generally how you study now. Tomorrow morning exam is there. Today night sit. Eat fully. Till where? Here. How will you go to the exam? And the question paper is given to you. It will come out. Correct? Huh? That is the way you write. Tomorrow morning nothing you know. Means after the exam is over. Exam is over. Why headache? All that headache. So this is your mentality. You can't go like that now because this is going to be your lifetime thing now. Okay, so all these things we should practice it more clearly. So no by-hearting, no vomiting, no copying, all gone now. Okay, because tomorrow you are in the industry, you are on your own, you have to stand and code there. There nobody will come to what? Help you. You are independent there. So the more you analyze things and start learning now, it will be much better for you in the future stages. That's why I am not giving you more notes, theory, I don't talk. More, whatever point to point I give, more we see practically only. Okay, imagine in 4 years you are not coding a single line by thinking. Almost all in a month you have started thinking and coding something at least, which is much better. So that is good significance now. You are on the verge of becoming what? Developers. But keep the trend. Okay. Suddenly in the midway, don't leave it off. Oh, I know everything, I'll not code. Looking at the code only, I'll understand. The day you tell that, you're gone. Understood? So keep coding. Because throughout your life, you're going to code, man. Today you might stop. Because you're in class, you might be thinking like that. Tomorrow after getting job in company, you have to code now. So practice all things here itself, so that there it becomes easy to you. Remember, do not stop coding. Otherwise, you'll find it very difficult at the later stages. Shall I clear? We'll see example. So much of information I gave you now. Okay, and one last thing, sorry, the syntax for inheritance. I'll cover that and then we'll proceed. The syntax for inheritance would be, supposingly there is a class called as A, it will have some members here. If you want some of these members in another class, what we do now? Class B extends A. Extends is a keyword I'll start off introducing now. Okay, class B extends A is the keyword. Extends is a keyword. So class A contains what? Here also it will contain members. But the basic idea you get now. Why we have done this? This class A having some members. I wanted to add extra some more members here. Modification. Oops. Strictly tells, do not modify existing classes. Remember this rule first. Oops clearly tells, do not modify existing class. If at all you want to modify an existing class, better you write a subclass. And there you start adding extra members whatever you want. This is what oops says. Are you following this? We have to see, again I'm telling you theoretically over, practically we have to see this. So when I start teaching you inheritance, you have to think, visualize from these concepts now. Class B extends, everybody knows. There's nothing big about it. Okay, why you do, when you do, how you do, what all you can do. Plenty of questions will come now. Okay, end of the day, here also we learn what now? In this data type, how to write members only. Again, finally the boiling point here is what? Finally if you go down, how to write instance variables in subclass, how to write methods in subclass, how to write constructors in subclass, how to write blocks in subclass. Same topic will start off now. So whatever you put effort and learned will pay off now. Understood? So you don't have to worry. So here we call it as generalization. Superclass is used for doing what? Generalization. This is used for doing specialization. And we always do inheritance when there is a relationship. Remember that. Do not forget this. This is the most important concept of inheritance now. This is syntax. One side we are saying syntax. Okay, other side we are learning what? To design terminologies. Design terminologies we say. Generalization, specialization, these are design terminologies. Terminology means words. As explaining all the meaning now, generalization means what? General things will be kept on in the top, specialization, extra things will be kept in the bottom. That is terminology. But they have in-depth meaning here. It's not like simple English. And you do it, this is terminology. Related to what? This terminology related to inheritance. Then you do it when you are having, you do inheritance when there is a relationship. You do inheritance when there is plenty of things to see. Plenty of things to see. But that's the syntax. Okay. So here we call class A as, class A we call it as what? Superclass. Class B we call it as what? Subclass. In colleges you have learned it in other way. Base class. You also learned it as what? Derived class. You also learned it as parent class. Yes, child class. So this is your college terminology. College terminology. College means what? Only in colleges. It is confined only to colleges. But when you come to professional life, real world, we do not use these two terminologies. We say superclass and subclass. That's it. So from now on, stop telling what base class, derived class. Better you stop telling it. Always start telling what? Superclass and subclass. Are you following now? Okay. Yes, I start off with the example now. Too much of introduction on inheritance. We'll start with an example now. It is only the first one is a very simple example. Just write code, get output. It's only first example. Don't use all your extra brains and start asking questions. Okay, I told you 10 days pending is there for what? Learning inheritance. I know exactly what are all your doubts. Day by day I'll go on clearing it. Understood now? Shall I clear? You see the first example now? You see the first example. See, there is a class called as A. It will have int I, int j, and it will have one method called as void show ij. It's a method name. SOP, value of I and j is plus I plus j. I'll take xy, it will be easy for us to identify. Xy, show xy is the method. Value of x and y is plus x plus y. A very simple class. Class A is there. See, class A is a very simple class. It is having just two instance variables and one method. I could have had extra members like what? Constructor, block and all that. Let's not worry about that now, because we are focusing on how to write subclasses now. So more attention will be given to subclass than class now. Understood? So more attention will be given to subclasses, how you write. So this is the design. There's one class now. So oops, see now my requirement is I want to add some extra members. I want to modify this. I have written this class. Assume that I have written class A. After I write this class A, means you are using it now. It is reusability. Okay, how will you use it? You will create object. You start accessing the members. Any functionality you want, you'll say how will you use now? A is equal to new A dot show xy, you can call the method. You'll get the output. Okay, like that classes will be there. They'll have plenty of members, not 1, 2, 3 like this. Plenty of that. One person will write it, you'll be using it. But sometimes there'll be a requirement. Like class is there, you're happy with all the members, but you want some extra members. You want some extra members to be added. Like one instance variable you might want, or 2 extra methods you might want. Okay, like this you might want some extra things. So now, if you want that extra member, okay, you will tell what big thing about that. I'll just open the brace, int z, I'll write one more method, void m1, I'll write one more method, void m2, and write the code like this. I'll create the object, I'll get the output. This is the wrong way to do, which you should not do. Understood? Generally you think, oh, you'll get the output now. See, the requirement was what? I wanted to add some, means you wanted to add some extra members. Definitely it will work. What is so big thing about it? So we are getting output. Don't think you are getting output now. This is wrong. You should not do like this. A dot all the members I can access. Okay, a class once designed should not be modified. Oops, recommends this. Strictly tells that. What it tells? Once a class is designed, do not modify it. Okay, why you might ask? See, I'll write one class. Okay, everybody here, 50 people or 60 people sitting, what they'll do? They'll learn my class. What they'll learn? Members. How many variables are there? How many methods are there? What are the parameters of the method? What is the return? Everything they'll learn. And from one day, once they'll learn now. And after that, after learning a class once, everybody will do what? Daily they'll start using it. They'll not even bother to look into the members. Understood? Now, once a class is there, okay, you'll learn it. Next day onwards, what will you do? Start using it. You'll never try to bother and look into what is there inside the class. Okay. So by chance everybody starts modifying it every day now, what will happen? Can you use that class, sir? So it becomes non-reusable. Okay, so you can't go on adding member, removing member, adding member, removing member, because it will be creating disturbance to other users of that particular class. It is very dangerous to modify, because a class designed once will be used by thousands of people around. Okay, when you go on modifying, how will they call the method now? You change the parameter of the method, you change the return type of the method. Today I learn M1 is accepting two parameters of type int, and it will return a parameter of type double. But you will modify now. You will make boolean and some other thing. Today I will modify. Tomorrow I will try to use, I can't work only. So it will start creating problems. Okay, so if you tell anybody outside now, what they will tell? A class cannot be modified. Everybody will tell what? Who said class cannot be modified? It can be modified. Come, I show you. They'll say type, get the output also. Okay, that is wrong. Technically it is wrong. Getting output is not the question here. How logically you are doing the coding is more important now. Okay, so that's why once a class is designed, don't modify it. If you want to add members, modifying means what? Adding member, removing member, anything like this. Okay, once it is there, see, if a class is there, you are happy with it, use it. If you are not happy with it, okay, you write a new class. When will you write a new class? When you are not happy with anything inside the class, this class, you write a completely new class. Understood? But sometimes what will happen, you want this code plus existing code. That is when you start writing subclass. So that is the difference. That is the scenario now. Okay. When do you write a class? When code is there. You are not happy with that code. You want to write some other code. You don't want anything about from that class. So that time what will you do? You write a new class. So new classes are only written when you are not happy with existing code. So that is what you mean concrete implementation. Concrete implementation means what? Writing completely newly. Understood? So classes are always written when you want to do concrete implementation. I told you. Still more we'll see about this. Okay. But subclasses are written always when you want to do changing implementation. Change. Now something is there. I want to modify, like adding extra members and all that. So do not do this. This is wrong. This is one of the approach. This was one of the approach. After that I could have created object now. When I create object, what will be there? After modifying the class, X will be there, Y will be there, Z will be there. Show XY will be there. Sorry, I deleted. But understand, M1 will be there, M2 will be there. Now you can call all the members now. But don't do this. This is wrong. Now let's see all the possibilities. Among all the possibilities, see, just it's a very simple concept. I want some extra code here. That's all I want. The developer is requiring what? Some extra code there. So let us see what are all the various designs you can use. One of the design would be modifying the thing in the same class. Other option, if this is not oops says don't do it. Other option would have been something like this. Let's see the second option. I'll write something like this now. This is the second option what you are having. Class B. Completely new class I'll write. Fully new class. Then what will I do? I'll write those members. And still I'm not talking about inheritance. Still I'm not coming to inheritance. Just see, this is a possibility. One possibility for adding extra member would be changing the code there itself. We don't recommend that. Other possibility would be writing a completely new class. In that new class, what you will do now? Write those two members, then add extra member. Then I'll write void show Z. Then I'll write void sum. Let's calculate the sum of all the three numbers. SOP, sum of X, Y and Z is plus X plus Y plus Z. You put it in brace, else it will print separately. So see, I got two classes now. I didn't touch this class. Instead, what did I do? I wrote a fully new class. There I wrote XY, the old members. Then I added the new members. So if you write a new class like this is also a good solution. Who says it's a bad solution? Let's see now. So people will decide now. If they want to work with the code of A, they'll create an object of A. A is equal to new A means what will happen? See, you should never see. You always remember, if you modify existing class now, you might remove or add it. Okay, so it will create confusion. But now I didn't do that. What did I do? I wrote a completely new one. So now people will decide. If they want all this code, they'll create an object of B. If they want only code of A, they'll bring only A into existence or create object of A. Let's see the difference now. A is equal to new A. What happens? An object of A is getting created now. What are the members? X, Y, show X, Y. This is A object, 150. Default values will be 0. How will you initialize? Initialize. You know how to do it. With dot operator, I will do now. A dot x is equal to 1, A dot y is equal to 2. Fine. So A dot x is overwritten now, 1 and 2. Initializing, don't bother. But just say I have created an object of A. B is equal to new B. If I write, what will happen? An object of B will be created. So what is the object of B having now? X, Y, Z. Show X, Y. Show Z. Some method. These are all members of what? B. Values of X, Y, Z will be what? 0. You can give the value. So I'll give B dot X is equal to 5. B dot Y is equal to 6. B dot Z is equal to 7. Values are overwritten. 5, 6, 7. So that A object is different, B object is different. We are taking the second design. One is modifying it in the same class. Other one is writing a completely new class. Okay. So what happens now? You can work with A or work B. See, it is up to the user now. I wrote A class. Somebody wanted to add extra members, he will write B class. Now you are all the users. You decide which code you want. You want to work with only A members, then create object of A. Members are not modified. Blindly you work as it is. You want some extra members, then work with B. As simple as this. Nobody is disturbing anybody's code here. Okay, so you should never disturb anybody's code. Are you clear with this? So this is one design. Everything is perfect here, but is there any drawback in the design? Redundantly you are writing the code again. When you wrote class B, perfect, correct it is. You are not modifying that. But one problem while writing class B was rewriting the same code of class A. That is the only problem we are facing now. Rewriting the same code of class A. But to rewrite, I can write, it's not a problem here, only 3 members are there. But what if this class is having around 10,000 lines of code now? Can I sit and code? It becomes difficult rather. Man is lazy, agreed? So will you code again, that too which is existing? We never do. What will you say? Why should I do it again? Find out some alternative, no? This is what we say. Alternative to this is only what? Inheritance. Understood? What we'll do? Let's see now. So these are the two options. What is one option? Modifying the same class, which is not recommended. Other option is do this. But we are not interested. Who? Developers are not interested because you are write the same redundant code. You understood what is redundant code? X, Y, show X, Y, this all is redundant. I have tried it again. I mean, it means we are wasting time. So I told you, what will happen is, the code will be there in one class. The code will be required in other places also. Reusing. Okay, you can reuse with what? Is a relation or has a relation. So, forget about has now. We are going with what? Is a relation now. So what we'll do now? Or we'll go with inheritance. So instead of writing a completely new class like this, see what we do now. You understood these two objects now? It is correct, it will work, you check out. But instead of this, what we do now? Now we start doing inheritance. Class B. It's a different program now. First program over, second program is B. No, don't think I'm using the same class there. This is a completely different program. Class B extends what? A, that's it. Automatically you'll get the functionality of A class into what? B class. We are talking now. Inheriting the functionality of an existing class into one new class. You wrote some points there. You're saying it now. Inheriting the functionality of one class into one new class. We are doing it now. So you'll inherit. You don't have to write what now? X, Y, show X, Y. All that you'll not write. But why are you doing all this now? To modify that class now? But since I can't modify it, for modification purpose I'm using what? Subclass data type. Subclass data types is always used for adding or changing implementation. So all those points will come back now very strongly. So you'll be seeing every point with example. I'll revise it. Okay. And you'll not understand in one example. I'm telling you, you need plenty of examples. In one example, you'll understand one point. Okay, in this example, what we are understanding, how we get the functionality of one class into another class. That's all we are learning. Modification and all more rigorously we'll see later. Understood? Here we are only learning one simple point, inheriting the functionality of one class into another class. What is the keyword I'm using now? Extends. Java is supporting this in such a brilliant manner. This is the support given to you by Java language. Concept you know about inheritance. But Java does it in a very elegant way. What it does? Just gives you a simple keyword for doing it. And that is called as extends. Yes, don't underline it while coding. It is error then. You will underline again. Okay, int z. Because some people would have not been coded till now. So what they'll do now, inheritance started now, new topic, they start coding today. That time when I underline here, there also they'll go and underline. Like that you are. Okay, so that's why I removed it. But that's the keyword, int z. Now what will I do? Void show z. See here, SOP value of z is plus z. Yes. Next, void sum. Same thing I'm adding. Int z, show z, sum method. Same. But look at this B class. Compare this B class with that class. This is much easy now to write for you. So we write SOP sum of x, y and z is plus x plus y plus z. Finished. Over. Class B, which is much simpler than what? The earlier one. But more things you have to observe. When I said, I told one point. Okay, what did I tell you? When a class inherits, see I'm using, see this is called as superclass now. Superclass, and this is called as what? Subclass. All the words are coming back now. Class A is superclass, class B is subclass. Again I can say this is parent class, child class, base class, derived class. But we don't use parent, child, base, derived. We always tell superclass and subclass. But here I can't explain you the meaning of generalization and specialization. Can I explain you? What is general here, sir? What is special here, sir? You'll ask. Obviously in this example I cannot explain that topic. So in this example what topics we can cover, that we'll pick. For generalization, specialization, I'll give another example. Understood? Modification, I'll give another example. In this example we are seeing only one point. What is that? Inheriting the features of one class into another. That is all I'm telling you. Nothing else apart from that. Next, here I'm telling you what's here. In class B extends A, we are doing addition. You are thinking, okay, what is so great about it? X plus Y plus Z, I'll get the addition, so great. You'll think. That is not the concept again. Again the concept here is how blindly you are accessing the members of superclass and subclass. Notice, X and Y are what? Are the members present in class B? They are out of scope now. Till now, if you want to access a member of one class in another class, you are creating an object and accessing it because they are unrelated classes. But now the classes are starting getting related. Like how blindly you are accessing here, same way you are accessing here. Notice. So all the members of superclass can be accessed in what? Subclass. Why? Because subclass has got complete information about superclass. It inherits all the members or all the functionality of superclass into subclass. Understood? So it's such an interesting subject now. Clear? So now I can create an object of A or I can create an object of B. So I am just written the first subclass today, and we can do the initialization of Z in what? Many ways same. Again Z is a subclass, instance variable in subclass. Again same approaches will come. How to do the initialization of instance variable? Like what? Hard coding, dot operate, same story will come. Preferably we prefer the constructor. But let me start it with dot operator. Let me start it off with dot operator. More questions will come. Then I show you how to write constructors in subclass, how to write more methods, all that we'll start seeing. Okay. So we'll create object of what now? B. Shall I remove this code? Because I need to draw diagrams. Because without diagrams it will not enter your head. Correct? A object means it will be like this. B object means it will be like this. Correct? I have to show you members now. Shall I clear? So now see, very interesting. A is equal to new A. Now see, assume that there was a I wrote on class A. Now somebody will write a class B. Now you are all users. You can decide which code to bring into existence. If you want only code of A to bring into existence, you will create an object of A, fine. You want to work with both the code, then you create an object of what? Be as simple as this. Nobody is touching anybody's code. Okay, we are not modifying anything, but still we are getting what we are achieving what we wanted in a much simpler manner. So that is the power of OOPS. You can reuse your code so easily. Okay, so let's see now. So when I say A is equal to new A, what happens? An object of what is getting created? A is getting created. So what are the members of A? X, Y. Sure, X, Y are the members. So the default value of X and Y will be what? 0. Address is what? A. You know how to work with A object. You don't have any problems with that. Till now you have learned how to work with classes. No. Working with the class is no different from working with superclass. Working with the class means working with class and superclass is same. How you work with the class, same way you will work with the superclass. Okay, and the object, see, this is superclass now. Till now we didn't have subclass, superclass. It was only a class. But now we are telling that is a superclass, this is a subclass. Okay, so when you create an object of superclass A, we call this object as superclass object. What is a superclass object? An object of type superclass is called as superclass object, and superclass object will have only what? Superclass members. Superclass object will have only superclass members. This is very prime thing now. Get all these points. This is called as superclass object. Understood what is superclass object? Means code has come into existence. Object means what? Code coming into existence. Only this has come into existence. Still B has not come. We have to reach there. Okay. So now what will I do? A dot x is equal to 1. It overwrites. A dot y is equal to 2. It also overwrites. Initially it was 0. Now I can call the method A dot show xy. Fine. Everything works. It will print what? 1 and 2, whatever it is. But if I try to access A dot z, error. A dot show z, error. Because these are not members present in what? A object. See, these members are wrong. A dot show z, A dot sum. Superclass does not know anything about what? Subclass. So that is why when you created the superclass object, superclass members have not come in, subclass members have not come into existence. Very clear? Perfect it is. So see it from the design point of view rather than what? Output point of view. You generally always talk inheritance from output point of view. You should not see it from output. From the design point of view, you should start thinking now. Very simple subject. Now see, BB is equal to new B. This is very interesting. When I create B object, B is having full knowledge about what? Superclass and subclass. So all the members will come into existence. What are all the members? Here is another copy of X and Y. Don't think same copy. Okay, this is subclass object. So one copy of X and Y is present in superclass object. Another copy of X and Y is present in subclass object. Understood? So X, Y, this is subclass object now. You are understanding the difference between superclass object and subclass object? Subclass object means it's an object of type subclass. Superclass object means it's an object of type superclass. Superclass objects have only superclass members. Subclass objects have both superclass members and subclass members. These are all key points now. So X, Y, then it will have what? Show X, Y. This is another object which is getting created. Then Z, then what? Show Z, then what? Sum. All the members are here. What is there in your class, everything will come into existence. This is B. Now I'll write. You print if you want SOP B, it will print a different address. SOP A will be a different address, SOP B will be a different address. B dot x is equal to 5. Initially what are the values here? 0. Here also the values are what? 0. Because see, that x and y is different, this x and y is different. Understood? B dot x is what? This is the major confusion you have. Always when you create subclass object, now you will try to access 1 from what? B, which is a big mistake you do while programming. What you will think? No, subclass has got complete information about superclass. Yes, that is in class definition. But in objects things are different now. B dot x means it will get the value from here, not there. So you have to understand the terminology here. One is class, other one is object. Inheritance is working at class level. Inheritance is working at class level when it is inheriting. But when objects are created, things are different. Understood? Inheritance is working at class level. I understood the statement. Inheritance is working at class level means what? When you are writing a subclass, it will work. It will get the functionality. But when you create an object of subclass, things are different. It will have its own copy of what? X, Y and all that. So this is your big mistake in inheritance. So a big mistake of inheritance starts here itself. Where? Accessing one with B, which is completely wrong. You are thinking subclass is having information about superclass. That's why you try to access. You have a valid reason for it. Understood? Subclass is having complete information about superclass. You are trying to access B dot X. But that is true in class definition. What you are thinking is true in definition of class, but not in object. Are you clear? So B dot X means yes, it is working here. Are you clear with this point? This is most important inheritance now. This is where you get confused. B dot X is 5, B dot X is 6, B dot Z is 7. Now I can work. I am working with all the 6 members. Notice, with A I work with only 3 members. I cannot work with these members. But with B, I can work with superclass members also plus what? Subclass members. B dot show XY. I am calling the method. Then B dot sum. B dot show Z. All the methods you can call. Are you following it? One simple example. What you learnt in inheritance, all is over. This is what you learned not till now in college. Over. One class I finished it off. Now 10 more classes, imagine. In one class only, if I can finish the inheritance syllabus of your 6 months, in 10 days how it will be. So inheritance is big subject. We have to discuss all the points. You learned inheritance in college now. For how many days you learned? 6 months? Now it's over now. What you learned in 6 months, I finished it in 1 hour just. That's it. I'll type and show you now. If you want, you can create more objects also. Like A1 is equal to new A. Again you can continue. I don't have space to write, but I'll write. A1 is equal to new A1. A. So this is A1 object. Address would be something like 350. Here also I'll have X and Y. Default values will be what? Same story. You print SOP A1. It will print a different address. A1.x value will be stored here. A1.y value will be stored here. B1 is equal to new B. One more object of what? B gets created. Like this you can create any number of superclass object, any number of subclass object. You have a class, you can go on creating. So if I say B1 is equal to new B, I don't have space, just you understand now. One more object of what gets created? B, it will have what? X, Y, show X, Y, Z, show Z, sum. All the members it will have. Same story. B1.x means it will work with that. B1.y means it will work with that. B1.z means it will work with that. Are you clear? So you can create any number of superclass object and any number of subclass objects. Clear? Okay. So now one flow you see, a very important flow here. B.sum, that method you take. I have created a subclass object. This is what? Subclass object. And we are doing SOP, sum of whatever the print statement leave. But we are doing addition here now. X plus Y plus Z. Now notice B.sum. What is sum method doing now? Accessing X and Y. From where it is accessing? From here. It will not access X and Y from here and there and all that. B.sum shows that means sum means it will pick the values of, but directly it is accessing. That is what you have to understand. How a member, see, X and Y, if I want to access it in another class, how did I access? B.x, B.y. X and Y, if I want to access it in another class, object dot operator. But X and Y, I want to access it in subclass, direct. That is the difference. Okay, when you have a class, that member can be accessed in subclass or that member can be accessed in different class. When you have X and Y, see X and Y is accessed where? In subclass. Same X and Y is accessed where? Demo. Demo is a different class, no? Is demo related to class A? Or is demo related to class B? No, it's an independent class. So how did you access it? B.x, B.y. This is how you go on working. Are you clear? Shall we see it with coding now? Shall I clear everything? This one just basic example of what? Inheritance. Just one simple basic example of inheritance. Tomorrow I'll show you if you want to get hard code, dot operator, all we'll see. Understood? Step by step we'll start seeing. Okay. Hard coding you can try here only. X is equal to 1, Y is equal to 2, Z is equal to 3. Every A object you create, what will be there of X and Y? 1 and 2. You can try it. That's your wish. Every B object create, it will have X, Y and Z. Okay. So that you can try. But anyway, I'll show you this first. Dot operator I'll show you and then we will go to that one. Shall I clear everything? So in this example, what is the concept? Inheriting the functionality of one class inheriting the functionality of an existing class into a new class. Inheriting the functionality of existing class into a new class. The existing class is called as superclass and the new class is called as what? Subclass. That is what you wrote. Class inheritance demo. You can give any name and the new topic starts off now. This superclass you can write like a normal class only. The superclass X and Y is plus X plus Y. So all this is normal. This is how you write. So superclass is coded in the same way how you write your class. So write it. So after you write this, then what you can do? Class B, sorry. So you can work with class A. You know how to work with class A, no? It's not that you have to write both and work. Directly you can work now. See, A is equal to new A. So I have written on class. You want to use my class, use it. How will you use it? Create an object. Then what will you say? A dot X is equal to 1. A dot Y is equal to 2. A dot initialize and then call the method show XY. Finished. Now you can see the program output. Value of X and Y is 1 and 2. I'm only calling the show XY method, nothing else. So this is how it works. So now you are happy with the class. You are not saying this is not a bad class and all that. Okay, but only problem is you need a extra member to it. That is your problem. That is, you want to modify the existing code. Modify it. For modifying, you can add extra members where? Here. That should not happen. Instead, what will you do? You can write a new class, write old plus new. That also will not do. Instead, you start doing like this. Class, see this, B extends A. And you know how many dot class files will be generated when you compile? File is 1. 3 dot class files. So for every data type, 1 dot class is generated. Okay, class B extends A. So here you can write int Z. Okay, then we can write void show Z. Void show Z. Value of Z is plus Z. Similarly, you can do the sum also. Void sum. Here my intention is not to show you addition. You know how to do addition. You are experts in that. Sum of x, y and z is x plus y plus z. But if you write separately, it will print separately. So what you have to do? Put it in. You know hierarchy of operators now. I've shown you all this. So I can put it. Done. This is the modification. What is the modification I did? I added 3 members, but without touching the existing class. That's the brilliant feature of OOPS. Without touching the existing class, I have modified it. Brilliant, no? Now, if you are happy with B, now users will decide. If you want to use B, others want to use only code of A, they'll create only object of A. If they want object of B, they'll create object of. It's left to them now. There are 2 classes. Whichever one they want, they will use now. So very simple now. All they'll do is what? So this is going to be a superclass. A was a superclass object. This will be a subclass object. You can access all the members, man. B dot show Z, B dot sum, anything you can access. All the 6 members you can access with B. Because subclass object is having members of superclass plus subclass. Value of Z is 7. I'm not printing. I'm printing only 3 methods. 1 method here and 3 methods here. That's it. You can see that output. Value of x and y is 12. Value of x and y is 5, 6. Value of z is 7. Where sum of all these 3 is 12. What is this? 18. Got it now? So that's how it executes. So if you want, you can print the address. The address you can print. You can see there are 2 different objects. Value of A is just to highlight that print, I am putting there value of B is plus B. There are 2 different addresses. You can see that very clearly. A is a superclass object, B is a subclass object. Over. That's it. Like that you can create more objects. A1 is equal to new A, A2 is equal to new A. How many ever superclass objects you want to create, how many ever subclass objects you want, go on creating now. Clear? Okay. One last thing I'll show you, and you do not bother about this. Okay, you do not bother much about this. Okay, we are going to see this topic in depth later. That is from tomorrow we'll start seeing. I'm trying to introduce one more keyword to you called as super. I'm trying to, super keyword now? You know or not? So that's what I'm trying to introduce now. Okay. So super keyword means it is one more keyword in Java. It is used for accessing the members of superclass in subclass. Okay, it is generally used for what? Accessing superclass members in subclass. That is when you use it. Now you might be thinking directly I can access. Now see, we are accessing what here? Superclass members here. Directly you can access, I know that. This is one option. One option for you to access is direct. One more option is, how do you access it? With help of super keyword. And super keyword should always be used in subclasses only. Remember that. Don't use super keyword in demo class. Demo does not have any superclass now. Demo does not have any superclass now. So I can't use it here. Super keyword should be used only in subclasses. Remember the rule. The rule is very clear. Super keyword should be used only in subclasses to access members of superclass. Are you getting the point? Super keyword is used only in subclasses to access the members of super keyword is used only in subclass to access the members of superclass. As simple as this. But it's not as simple also. You're going to go more deeper. Okay. See, one is this option. You're having what? Directly you can access. I'm not saying no. Other way what you can access is like this also. Super dot x plus super dot y. Z directly, because it's in the local class. It's in local class, I can access it directly. Just I'm introducing the keyword to you. Sum of, I'll remove all this. Just see this, how you are accessing. Okay, so I have to talk about two important keywords. One is this keyword, one is super keyword. This keyword is used to access the members of the class within the same class. But super keyword is used in the subclass to access the members of superclass. There's a big difference. We require minimum 3-4 days. Okay, so you have to hold patience. When I cover it, you'll understand. But valid code, that still compiles, that still gives you the output. See here, sum 18. This was the print. Sum 18 is what? This output, sum 18. Are you clear this? Any questions? Any questions? So this is one basic introduction to inheritance. You code all this. Okay, get ready. We are going to see bigger things from tomorrow.
So if you create only class B object, dot class A will also be generated. If you create an object using class B directly and don't write class A,
No issue.
object of dot class be generated, class A will be generated. Class A, like dot class will be generated for that.
Compiler will generate dot class. Whether you use or not, that is secondary. How many classes are there in your source file? Those many dot class files will be generated. There is no doubt about it. Okay, and it will be generated. One second. What did I do? What is the error? Cannot find symbol A. Okay. See, it will be generated and it is needed also. If A is not there, how will you extend B? Sorry, how will B extend A? If one data type is there, then only I can use it, no? So A dot class has to be generated. Compiler will generate, man. Okay. This story is again more clearly, you start seeing now. Okay, a lot of questions will come now. More questions, all these questions will be answered to you with more better examples. Here only one topic I introduced, inheriting the functionality of one existing class into subclass. That's it. Are you clear? Any questions?
If our superclass has some if our superclass members are private, will those
I have told you in the document, I told you it is not inherited. Did I talk about private today? Then why are you going out of the scope? I told you 1,000 questions will come here. Whatever is related to this example, ask. How to write constructor, how to write this, how will I answer now? The simple introduction to inheritance I am telling you now. Then why is such question coming out now? You are not supposed to ask such questions. Clear? Until and unless I am talking about that particular topic. I will also talk now. Private I will make. Definitely without that can I move to out of inheritance? I have to do it. Then when you know very well I will do it. Why do you ask it now itself? Clear? Okay then. That's it.